Just let us live in this house of yours. Why? You married into the Zhang family, so you belong to us now. You were born to serve others.
Just do what you're supposed to do.
Fine, very well. Then don't expect an easy life either. Ah, ha. Lin Yao, where the hell have you been? Can't you see the baby's crying? Go make some formula now. You don't have a clue, do you? What kind of wife did he marry? Lily came all this way with her baby to recover after giving birth. You should feel honored, but she's hiding in her room playing dead. Dad, give it a rest. Look at Xiao Hao's wife pulling a face longer than a donkey's. Anyone would think I owed her money. Xiao Hao! Xiao Hao! Where the hell are you? Sis, don't be mad. Yao Yao was probably exhausted from working late yesterday. Dad, have a seat. The water's almost boiling. We're all tired. If a woman won't serve her family, what good is she? Yao Yao, where are you going with that suitcase? Lin Yao, who are you giving that attitude to? We have guests, and instead of taking care of them, you're packing? Are you rebelling? Yao Yao, do you know what time it is? Where are you going? Dinner isn't even ready. Your sister is still hungry. Let go. Come on, Yao Yao, can you stop making a scene? Dad and my sister are right here. Show me some respect. Respect is earned. It's not mine to give. Lin Yao, if you walk out that door today, never come back. I'll make Xiao Hao divorce you immediately. Yao Yao, apologize to Dad. Then we can put this behind us. Apologize? For what? My sister just gave birth. Their situation is tough, so what's wrong with helping them? Zhang Hao, your sister borrowed $60,000 from us. She hasn't repaid a cent in 3 years, and now she moves in without even asking. She just showed up with her bags to spend her postpartum recovery here. Did you ask me even once? I looked at this man and found him ridiculous. The elevator chimed and slowly opened. I dragged my suitcase inside, turned around and looked at Zhang Hao. I got an email from work yesterday. A major project came up unexpectedly. What project? How long will you be gone? A business trip. 3 months. 3 months? Lin Yao, are you crazy? The house is yours to handle. Oh, Shaolin. Heading out this late? Yeah, Uncle Chen. My company is sending me on a business trip. How long will you be gone? 3 months. Uncle Chen, please keep an eye on my place while I'm gone. Call me if anything seems wrong. Don't worry. Leave it to me. Driver, take me to the nearest hotel. This wasn't some sudden business trip. 3 years ago, when Zhang Hao agreed over the phone to let his sister recover at our home, I immediately requested 3 months of leave. 10 minutes later, I entered my hotel room, tossed my suitcase into a corner, and sprawled across the bed. It felt amazing. I took out my phone and opened an app with a black icon. After buffering for 2 seconds, it showed my living room. Zhang Zhango kicked the coffee table and cursed toward the front door. Zhang Hao was holding his phone, sweating as he repeatedly called me. Meanwhile, his name popped up on my phone. I watched Zhang Hao flash across the screen, silenced my phone, and tossed it aside. On the security feed, Zhang Hao was frantic. She won't pick up. Yao Yao isn't answering. She won't answer. She's gotten bold. Look at the wife you married. She has no respect for rules. Listen, Xiao Hao, don't back down. Ignore her. Xiao Hao, I'm only saying this for your own good. You can't even control your wife. She ran off in the middle of the night. What are we supposed to eat? I'm still recovering from childbirth. What if I go hungry and stop producing milk? I sneered. I'd installed this night vision camera 3 days earlier while Zhang Hao was at work. It covered every angle, even capturing every sound from the kitchen. Sis, don't worry. I'll cook right now. Now I wanted to see how they'd survive without their free maid. Holding my tea, I picked up my phone again. Dad is furious. My sister is hungry too. Can you stop this already? It's a work assignment. I have no choice. Didn't you say your dad and sister were guests? Take good care of them. I'm going to bed. I hit send, placed my phone face down on the table, turned off the light, and went to sleep. I slept better than I had at any point in the last 3 years. Early the next morning, bright sunlight woke me. After washing up, I went downstairs for a big breakfast. When I returned and checked the cameras, my kitchen looked like a disaster zone. Zhang Hao came out holding a pot, his face covered in soot. Zhang Li took one look and slammed her chopsticks onto the table. Zhang Hao, you expect people to eat this? Are you trying to starve me and my baby? Maybe I got the heat wrong. The congee is burned. I just gave birth. You expect me to eat burned congee? Did I come here to be pampered or tortured? You fed me instant noodles last night and burned congee this morning. Zhang Hao, do you have a conscience? Xiao Hao, what's wrong with you? You can't even cook a meal. Doesn't your wife ever teach you? Go get some eggs from the fridge and fry them. Cut up some meat too. Okay. I'm going. He sprinted into the kitchen and yanked open the fridge. Zhang Hao froze in front of it, as if someone had hit pause. The fridge was completely empty. There was no meat or eggs, not even a single scallion. My phone suddenly lit up. Lin Yao, where's all the food? Why is the fridge empty? Oh, you must have eaten everything. I've been too busy to shop these last few days. Then go downstairs and buy something. It's not a big deal. When am I supposed to do that? My sister is hungry. The baby won't stop crying. And I have to clock in at work. Then order delivery. I have an early meeting. Bye. Hey, what are you waiting for? Go make the formula. The water needs to be 113 degrees, got it? Zhang Hao grabbed the bottle and rushed toward the kitchen. Crash! He accidentally knocked the kettle off the coffee table. It smashed onto the floor, spraying scalding water everywhere. Oh my god! Shangho, are you blind? Are you trying to burn us alive? Sis, I didn't mean to. Can you stop yelling? The baby's crying is driving me crazy. What a curse. You useless idiot. I asked you to make formula and you dropped the kettle. Can you do anything right? Get a mop and clean it up. Do you know how much this wood floor will cost if it's ruined? From my hotel, I watched all three of them descend into chaos. Zhang Hao hopped to the bathroom, grabbed a mop, and frantically cleaned the water. Where's the milk? The baby's face is turning purple from crying. Zhang Hao, can you hurry up? Sweating profusely. He dropped the mop and grabbed a pitcher of cool water from the kitchen. He poured some into the bottle, dumped in 2 scoops of formula, shook it a few times, and handed it to Zhang Li. Sis, it's ready. Feed the baby. What? This water is cold. You expect a 1-month-old baby to drink cold formula? Are you trying to kill my son? She splashed the formula all over Zhang Hao. He froze, his eyes turning red. His fists clenched tightly, and his chest heaved. What do I have to do to satisfy you? I've been cooking, boiling water, and making formula since this morning. I haven't even had a sip of water. Do you know how to do anything except criticize me? Who are you yelling at? Is that how you speak to your older sister? If you were capable of controlling your wife, none of this would have happened. Zhang Hao collapsed onto the stained couch like a deflated balloon. With trembling hands, he took out his phone and called me again. I watched his name flash across the screen, took a sip of tea, and answered. Yao Yao, can you take a few days off and come home? Things are really falling apart here. What happened? I knocked over the kettle and burned my foot. My sister said the formula was the wrong temperature and kept yelling at me. Dad is angry too. So, please come back and help. I really can't handle this alone. Everything is a complete mess. Zhang Hao, I told you before I left. I'm away on business. Besides, aren't your dad and sister supposed to be guests? You can't even take care of your own guests. Yo, I'm preparing for tomorrow's meeting. I have to go. That night, I opened my laptop and remotely logged into our router. Without hesitation, I changed the Wi-Fi password and enabled MAC address filtering. I set a new password that only I knew. Early the next morning, Zhang Hao's barrage of calls arrived right on schedule. I leisurely finished the hotel's breakfast buffet before answering. Lin Yao, why is our internet down? What's the password? Xiao Hao, hurry up! My show was just getting to the best part. What kind of garbage internet is this? Oh, the company upgraded its network security yesterday. I reset our home router while I was at it. The computer generated a long, random password. I don't remember it. Then check the computer. It's at the office. I only brought my tablet. Try using a toothpick to press the little button on the back of the router. That'll restore the factory settings and remove the password. Fine, I'll do it myself. On the camera feed, Zhang Hao crouched by the TV stand like a headless chicken, jabbing the router's reset button with a toothpick. He restarted it over and over, but every connection said there was no internet. Holding her baby on the couch, Zhang Li mocked him. A grown man who can't even fix a lousy router. How did I end up with such a stupid brother? Zhang Hao angrily raised the router as if to smash it, but he couldn't bring himself to destroy it. His hand stopped in midair, and he put it back down in frustration. After struggling all morning, he finally gave up. To silence Zhang Li's non-stop complaining, he went to a phone store and bought her an unlimited data plan for $300 a month. Watching Zhang Li finally settle down after getting mobile data, I sneered. That afternoon, I opened the grocery, milk, and fruit delivery apps on my phone and canceled every twice-weekly automatic delivery. A few days later, the refrigerator was completely empty. At 8 that evening, Zhang Hao dragged his exhausted body home from work. He went straight to the kitchen and opened the fridge. On the camera feed, he stared into the empty refrigerator for 3 full minutes. Only a few lonely bottles of seasoning remained. He immediately called me. Lin Yao, why hasn't the grocery delivery arrived? Wasn't the fridge full when I left? You ate everything awfully fast. I've been so busy on this trip that I forgot to renew the service. What are we eating tonight? Can you order groceries for delivery right now? I'm working late. I don't have time. Why don't you go to the neighborhood store yourself? I just finished working late. My legs are killing me. Then order takeout or ask your dad to shop. My boss is calling. Bye. I watched Zhang Hao slump against the fridge. He knew asking Zhang Zhanggo to shop was hopeless. His father believed kitchens were women's work, so Zhang Hao had no choice but to go downstairs. Half an hour later, he returned carrying 2 large bags of groceries, completely out of breath. Zheng Li walked over and pawed through the bags, looking disgusted. What are these rotten leaves? These apples are already shriveled. Zhang Hao, can you put in some effort? I'm recovering from childbirth. Look at this junk you bought. The groceries your wife buys are always fresh. Who are you trying to fool? Zhang Hao didn't dare answer back. He lowered his head and carried the groceries into the kitchen. Just then, someone pounded hard on the front door. Zhang Hao rushed to open it. The moment the door opened, Zhang Li's husband Wang Qiang stood there with his beer belly. He swaggered inside. Wang Qiang walked in as if he owned the place. Hey, Xiao Hao, nice place you've got here. Brother-in-law, you're here. Have you eaten? Nope, I'm starving. Make a couple of good meat dishes. Zhang Hao didn't dare refuse. He turned and went back into the kitchen. The atmosphere at dinner was nauseatingly awkward. Wang Qiang ate greedily, picking through every dish with his chopsticks. Xiao Hao, your cooking isn't very good. You overcooked this, and it needs more salt. You should learn from your wife. Now she knows how to run a home. After eating his fill, Wang Qiang pushed away his bowl and wiped his mouth with a napkin. Xiao Hao, postpartum recovery hasn't been easy for your sister. You need to take better care of her. We don't have much money, so we can only trouble you two. Of course, we're family. But Xiao Hao, my business has hit a rough patch lately. I'm short on cash. Lend me $3,000 to tide me over. Brother-in-law, I'm short on money too. Short on money? You make over $20,000 a month. Will lending me $3,000 kill you? It's not like I won't repay you. Xiao Hao, your brother-in-law asked you for help. Why are you being so stingy? Transfer it now. Xiao Hao took a deep breath, put down his chopsticks, and transferred $3,000 to Wang Qiang. Now that's more like it. You're a good man. Zhang Jiangguo pulled a stack of cash from his pocket. It was his retirement money, but he handed it straight to Zhang Li, shouting, Lily, take it and spend it. Don't deprive yourself. Zhang Hao had just finished washing the dishes. When he saw this, he opened his mouth to speak, but one glare from Zhang Jiangguo silenced him. That night, Zhang Hao sat alone on the bed, staring at the bank notification with red eyes. In just 1 month, my new home had become unrecognizable. The coffee table was piled with takeout boxes and unwashed bottles. The couch was covered in dirty clothes. Whenever Zhang Hao came home, he first took out the trash and then cooked dinner. He was visibly losing weight. One evening, just as Zhang Hao arrived home, management posted an overdue bill on the door. He pulled it down, read it, and froze. Dad, why are the utility bills so high? How much are they? The electric bill is $900, water is $400, gas is $300. That's $1,600 total, 4 times the usual amount. So what? Your sister is recovering from childbirth. Of course she needs water and electricity. Just pay for what we used. Why are you yelling? But this is outrageous. The house is huge. Outrageous, my ass. The place is huge. What's wrong with using a little more? Zhang Jiangguo tore into him. Zhang Hao didn't dare talk back, and dejectedly returned to the bedroom. Zhang Hao, what's going on with you lately? You're always late or leaving early, and you fall asleep in meetings. If this keeps up, you'll lose your entire bonus this month. I'm sorry, sir. I've had some problems at home. I'll be more careful. I leaned back in my chair and sneered at the camera feed. Then Zhang Li entered our bedroom. Without hesitation, she opened my closet, pulled out my favorite cashmere coat, and put it on. Next, she walked to my vanity, picked up my limited edition perfume, and sprayed it all over her neck. Not bad. Lin Yo really knows how to enjoy herself. I stared at the screen and immediately took a screenshot. Good, more evidence. I closed the security feed and opened the smart home controls. I looked at the charging robot vacuum icon, sneered, remotely locked it, and cut the power. The robot vacuum became useless scrap. The next evening, Zhang Hao came home, saw sunflower seed shells and dried milk stains everywhere, and finally lost his temper. He pressed the switch, but the vacuum didn't respond. Why isn't the vacuum working? With no other choice, he bent over and swept the floor by hand. He was drenched in sweat, and dust flew all over the living room. Zhang Hao, can you be more careful? There's dust everywhere. What if my son breathes it in? Do you even know how to clean? You're so clumsy. When your wife was home, the floor shone like a mirror. Look at your brother. He's only making it dirtier. Then why don't you help? What did you say? Have some respect. You want an old man and your postpartum sister to work? Do you have any respect at all? Zhang Hao fell silent. He lowered his head and kept sweeping mechanically. At 11 that night, everyone else was asleep. Zhang Hao sat alone on the bed, buried his face in his hands, and trembled. He cried. A man in his 30s silently wept inside the home he'd bought. Zhang Li's demands grew more outrageous. She complained that the neighborhood store vegetables weren't fresh and demanded imported fruit and organic produce. After work one day, Zhang Hao visited several upscale supermarkets to find everything Zhang Li demanded. He came home with branded bags, too exhausted even to remove his shoes. I got your kiwis and organic vegetables. Zhang Li handed the baby to Zhang Jiangguo and eagerly pulled out a kiwi. She cut it open and took a big bite. The next second, she spat everything into the trash. It's completely sour. Zhang Hao, did you buy this garbage just to brush me off? Zhang Hao stood helplessly. These are the most expensive imported kiwis in the store. They said this variety is naturally a little tart. Who are you trying to fool? You just don't want to spend money on me. Little brother, I knew you thought I was a burden. Xiao Hao, your sister is still recovering from childbirth. You feed her this garbage and call yourself responsible? Dad, sis, Yao Yao has my salary card. This is all the money I have. I've done everything I can. Everything you can, my ass. If you knew how to control your wife, none of this would have happened. Zhang Hao fell silent. He turned dejectedly and went back to the bedroom. A few days later, the doorbell rang again. Wang Qiang appeared on the camera, swaggered into the living room, and asked Zhang Hao for something within 2 minutes. Xiao Hao, your brother-in-law needs a little more money. My business has reached a crucial point. Another $5,000 and I can turn everything around. I watched Wang Qiang through the camera and couldn't help sneering. That parasite was right on schedule. When Zhang Hao heard 5,000 from the kitchen, he looked as if he'd swallowed a fly. Brother-in-law, it's not that I won't lend it to you. I really don't have any money. Yo Yao has my salary card. I could barely scrape together this month's utilities. Who are you fooling? Use your credit card if you have to. Think of it as an investment. Once the business turns around, I'll share the profits with you. Xiao Hao, your brother-in-law asked for help. Just help him. We're family. You can't stand by and watch his business fail. Under their guilt-tripping and relentless pressure, Zhang Hao gave in. He took a cash advance on his credit card and transferred $5,000. Wang Qiang left happily without even saying thank you. 2 days later, I was eating at Su Wei's place when she showed me a screenshot from the family group chat. Look at your awful brother-in-law's post. Wang Qiang had posted a selfie wearing new designer headphones. I immediately checked the camera. Zhang Hao sat on the stained couch with unfinished instant noodles. He had seen it too. His hand shook as he held his phone. He stared at Wang Qiang's smug face, then at his own credit card alert. Account severely overdrawn. His face went pale. That night, Zhang Hao washed the baby's clothes in cold water until his hands turned red. Following an online recipe, he tried making red date congee for Zhang Li, but he burned it. Thick smoke and a bitter smell filled the house as he frantically turned off the stove and carried out the blackened pot. Sis, the congee is a little burned. Please make do with it. Zhang Li glanced at the blackened congee, flipped the bowl, and spilled half of it over Zhang Hao's pants. You expect me to eat this? Are you trying to poison me? Zhang Hao, are you truly incompetent or are you refusing to try? How do you ruin congee this badly? Did you do it on purpose? Look how useless you are. You can't even make congee. When your wife Lin Yao was here, every meal was ready and waiting. You aren't half as capable as she is. Watching the feed, I gripped my cup. Zhang Jiangguo's words cut open a buried memory. It was the first winter of our marriage. I lay in bed with a 102-degree fever, too weak to stand. Yao Yao, please get up and cook something. My sister invited friends over for dinner. You're a good cook. Feverish and barely standing, I made 4 dishes and a soup. When I served them, Zhang Li took one bite and curled her lip. Lin Yao, you still need to work on your cooking. It's mediocre. That night, I wrapped myself in a coat and went alone to the emergency room for an IV, while Zhang Hao laughed with his sister at home. Back in the present, someone pounded on the door. Xiao Hao, Zhang Hao, are you home? Open up! The pounding echoed through the silent room and startled everyone. Uncle Zhao, what happened? Xiao Hao, what's going on here? Several neighbors have filed a joint complaint. They say a terrible smell comes from your place every day. It's sour and rotten, and the baby cries loudly all night. You're seriously disturbing everyone. I'm sorry, Uncle Zhao. I've been too busy lately, and haven't cleaned the house. Holding her baby, Zhang Li rushed over, like a lit firecracker. Who has so much free time to complain? So our baby cries a little. What's the problem? This community is far too controlling. That's my grandson crying. How does it affect anyone else? Brother Zhang? This isn't a little crying. It's every night and the smell is unbearable. You must fix this. Old Zhao shook his head and left. Zhang Hao slumped against the doorframe, utterly drained. Zhang Li snorted and kicked him while he was down. Zhang Hao, look at what you've become. Even the neighbors are causing trouble. The moment Lin Yao left, you became completely useless. When she was home, everything was spotless. None of this ever happened. Once that woman left, this stopped feeling like a home. Zhang Hao clenched his fists, his chest heaving. More than a month of humiliation, exhaustion, and anger finally pushed him past his limit. Have you said enough? Who are you yelling at? You ungrateful son. As tension filled the living room, Zhang Hao's phone rang. He answered irritably, then turned pale. Zhang Hao, what is going on with you? You've taken leave 4 times this month. Your work has been terrible. This is your final warning. If you're late again tomorrow or the project has another problem, you're suspended. You'll lose your entire bonus. I'm sorry, sir. I promise I'll finish the proposal tonight and clock in on time tomorrow. Terrified, Zhang Hao bowed repeatedly into the phone. The call ended and his legs gave out. He collapsed onto the stained couch like a sack of rags. He covered his face and rubbed it in despair. After a month of serving those tyrants, he was close to breaking, but Zhang Li still wouldn't stop. Zhang Hao, my milk production has been dropping lately. The baby isn't getting enough. Buy me some quality bird's nest to rebuild my strength. Sis, bird's nest is too expensive. I really have no money. No money? Who are you fooling? You complained when I asked for imported formula. And now you won't even buy bird's nest. Are you hoping my baby and I starve in your home? Your sister needs nutrition after giving birth. Why are you being so stingy with her? Use your card and buy it now. To save his job, Zhang Hao began working all night. At 2 in the morning, he typed furiously at the dining table with dark circles under his eyes. Watching this once confident man become a walking corpse, I felt nothing. The next evening, someone knocked again. Zhang Hao trudged to the door and Wang Qiang swaggered in and dropped onto the couch. Xiao Hao, your brother-in-law needs another $10,000. 10,000? Brother-in-law, where am I supposed to get $10,000? Xiao Hao, my business has reached its most critical stage. I'm only $10,000 short. Once I fill that gap, everything will turn around. Brother-in-law, I truly don't have a penny. I had to scrape together the money for my sister's bird's nest. What kind of attitude is that? You make more than $20,000 a month. Lin Yao isn't home, so you control all the money. Lend me the $10,000 and I'll make you a partner. I'll share the profits with you later. Zhang Hao kept shaking his head. Then Zhang Jiangguo walked out of the bedroom and slapped him on the back of the head. You worthless bastard! Your brother-in-law explained everything. And you're still making excuses. When family is in trouble, you won't even do this much. Dad, I really don't have any money. My credit cards are already maxed out. Then find another way. You will give him the money today, or you're no son of mine. Ha! Under Zhang Jiangguo and Wang Qiang's pressure, Zhang Hao finally broke. Like a puppet, he used his last available credit card and transferred the money. Wang Qiang grinned and said, "Good brother," then left without looking back. Zhang Hao stood frozen as his phone lit up. It was a brutal bank alert. Your credit card is severely overdrawn. His face turned ashen. He slid helplessly to his knees, clutching his hair. I watched and sneered. Those parasites wouldn't stop until they drained the marrow from Zhang Hao's bones. Suddenly, my phone vibrated violently. Lin Yao, where the hell are you? Do you even want this family anymore? Lin Yao, you heartless woman. Where are you? Dad, I'm on a business trip. The project isn't finished. What business trip lasts 3 months? You're hiding from us on purpose. The house has become a garbage dump. Get back here and clean it up. Dad, I truly can't leave work. Besides, isn't Zhang Hao at home? You and Zhang Li can help him. How could you possibly fail to manage? We're guests. What kind of wife are you? Guests arrived and you never even showed your face. You dumped this whole mess on Xiao Hao. Have you no shame? Dad, didn't you say? This was Zhang Hao's home. And elders shouldn't interfere in a young couple's life? Since you're a guest, please be more understanding. Surely I don't need to teach you how a guest should behave. You vicious woman. I'm in a meeting, bye. I immediately returned to the camera feed. She's rebelling! That woman is completely out of control. Xiao Hao, you have to bring her back. That evening, I visited Su Yue. Your psychological warfare is brilliant. Even your domineering father-in-law called you himself. Surely they've surrendered now. You call that surrender? He was still putting on airs and insulting me. Then what do you want? I want Zhang Hao to make his own choice. As soon as I said that, my phone lit up. Zhang Hao had sent a long message. Yao Yao, I truly know I was wrong. I stared at his long plea, didn't reply, and locked the screen. By the middle of the 3rd month, the home had deteriorated beyond repair. Zhang Li suddenly screamed while holding her baby. Zhang Hao, come look at my son. What's wrong with him? Zhang Hao ran from the kitchen. The baby's arms and face were covered in bright red rashes. Terrified, he rushed the baby to the hospital. 2 hours later, he returned drenched in sweat. What did the doctor say? The doctor said the environment was too filthy. There wasn't enough ventilation, and all the dust caused severe eczema. Zhang Hao tiredly placed the medicine on the coffee table. Zhang Hao, what are you trying to do? I trusted you with my son. And you can't even mop the floor. Are you deliberately trying to ruin his health? Zhang Jiangguo joined in. You useless idiot. Your wife ran away, and you can't even keep one room clean. What can you do? Zhang Hao endured their abuse, unable to say a word. Gritting his teeth, he used his heavily overdrawn credit card again to buy an expensive air purifier. That evening, Zhang Hao put it in Zhang Li's room. The fan whirred as soon as he plugged it in. Within 5 minutes, Zhang Li stormed out and yanked the plug. Zhang Hao, what kind of garbage did you buy? It's as loud as a tractor. How am I supposed to sleep? You wasted all that money on a noise machine. Are you trying to upset me? Zhang Hao stood in the corner, silently staring at the unplugged purifier, his whole body trembling. That evening, my phone rang. It was old Zhao, the property manager. Lin Yao, you need to deal with the disaster at your home. A neighbor just called. They smelled a powerful gas odor outside your door. Something terrible will happen if this continues. Gas? I sprang off the couch, my heart pounding. I hung up and opened the camera feed. Zhang Hao rushed into the kitchen, shut the main gas valve, and opened every window. He leaned against the counter, gasping and drenched in cold sweat. If old Zhao hadn't called and the neighbor hadn't smelled the gas, it would have been a disaster. It was time for drastic action. Time to end this. At midnight, while everyone slept, I unlocked the useless robot vacuum remotely and scheduled it to clean every day at 3 a.m. Then I messaged Zhang Hao. Remember to check the gas stove regularly. Property management just warned me. Safety first. Early the next morning, Zhang Hao read my message and quickly replied. Yao Yao, thank you for warning me. I'm sorry I worried you. Can you really not come home? We truly need you here. I still didn't reply. That evening, Zhang Hao sat on the ruined couch, staring at our chat. Little brother, when is your heartless wife coming back? I can't stand another day in this pigsty. Zhang Jiangguo joined in with a dark expression. You have to bring her back. She's playing mind games and deliberately laughing at the Zhang family. In the past, Zhang Hao would have bowed his head, but today, after looking at my safety warning, he raised his head. Dad, sis, can you stop blaming Lin Yao? What did she do wrong? You're still defending that vicious woman? Zhang Hao, are you sick of me and my baby? Yes, I've had enough. Lin Yao isn't your free maid. Why should you treat her like a servant? What did you say? You yelled at your father and sister for that vicious woman? Holding her baby, Zhang Li stood up, staring in disbelief. Zhang Hao, have you lost your mind? Did that evil Lin Yao put you up to this? I'm your biological sister. I came all this way to recover in your home, and you resent me? I don't resent you. But Lin Yao isn't our free maid. She has her own job and her own life. What life? A married woman should serve her in-laws and manage the home. I'm making this clear today. If you defend her again, you're no son of mine. Zhang Hao took a deep breath and pointed at the wrecked living room. You keep saying Lin Yao neglects this family, but when she lived here, did either of you ever thank her? Sis, I lent you $60,000. You haven't mentioned repaying it in 3 years. Now you move in without asking, then complain about everything. You demand imported fruit and an expensive air purifier. My cards are maxed out. I work late every night, and every dollar disappears into this bottomless pit. We were in trouble. Once Wang Qiang's business improves, we'll repay you double. He just took another $10,000 from me. I'm about to lose my job. Will you be satisfied only when I'm dead? Fine, Lily, pack our things. We're going home tomorrow, so we won't be a burden here. He thought threatening to leave would manipulate his son like before. Fine, I'll buy your tickets for tomorrow. You ungrateful bastard. You're really throwing us out! You said you wanted to leave. Dad, sis. This is my home with Lin Yao. It isn't a shelter. You came as guests, and you've stayed long enough. It's time to go home. Zhang Li panicked. She was used to being served and acting like a tyrant in this home. Zhang Hao, do you have a conscience? Huang Xiu is always away on business. Who will take care of me back home? You're recovering from childbirth. I'll pay for a postpartum caregiver, but I'll never sacrifice my marriage and career to pay your bills again. Watching through the camera, my hand paused around my teacup. Zhang Hao finally sounded like a decent man. Fine, we'll leave. I'm still alive, and I don't need to depend on you. Lily, pack our things. I'd like to see how this family survives without us. How will you manage alone? When Zhang Li realized her father was serious, she angrily packed, slamming hangers around. Zhang Hao ignored them, picked up a rag, and quietly cleaned the spilled milk and water. Early the next morning, Zhang Jiangguo and Zhang Li stood in the living room with several suitcases. They kept glancing at Zhang Hao's door, waiting for him to apologize and beg them to stay. Instead, he emerged in a suit holding 2 printed train tickets and calmly handed them over. Dad, your train leaves at 10. Brother-in-law just messaged me. He'll meet you at the station. I'll carry your luggage downstairs. Zhang Jiangguo stared at the tickets, stunned and furious, as if blood were stuck in his throat. He couldn't speak for a long time. You actually bought the tickets? Fine, Zhang Hao, you've grown bold. You're abandoning your own father and sister. Dad, Lin Yao is my wife. Boarding starts soon. Let's go. Zhang Li stomped in fury, frightening the baby into tears. Zhang Hao, if you throw me out today, don't ever call me your sister again. I don't have such a heartless brother. Still cursing, she grabbed a large shopping bag filled with expensive supplements bought on Zhang Hao's overdrawn credit card. Zhang Hao suddenly stopped her. Sis, wait for what? You regret it now? Too late. That's not it. Zhang Hao pulled out a document. Since they were leaving, it was time to settle the accounts. You borrowed $60,000 3 years ago. Brother-in-law recently borrowed another $15,000. Then there are all your unreasonable expenses here. Altogether, you owe us $80,000. What do you mean? You're keeping accounts with your own sister? Are you obsessed with money? That money belongs to both Lin Yao and me. If you deny the debt, we'll report it. Or I'll ask the court to enforce repayment. Didn't brother-in-law say his business was improving? I doubt he wants legal trouble. You wouldn't dare. Zhang Hao stared at them and spoke slowly. I've nearly lost my job and my home. Try me. You're signing this today, whether you want to or not. Under Zhang Hao's firm pressure, Zhang Li grudgingly signed an IOU and promised to repay in installments. Zhang Hao felt no victory. He only waved tiredly. Go. After seeing them off, Zhang Hao returned alone to the empty house. Our once warm marital home looked like the ruins after a disaster. Without resting, he cleaned like a tireless machine, bagging trash, washing yellowed curtains, and scrubbing the blackened floor on his knees. On the third evening, Zhang Hao collapsed on the couch in the transformed living room. The place finally looked like a home again, but it had no woman of the house. With trembling hands, he called me. I answered after a long time. Hello, Yao Yao. His voice was hoarse and exhausted, as if he'd survived a catastrophe. Dad and my sister went home. I personally saw them off. I sat on the balcony of my hotel suite, speaking calmly. Okay. Before they left, I made them apologize to you. Yao Yao, I was wrong. I never stood beside you, or protected you. I was a jerk. I settled the debts with them too. My sister signed an IOU and agreed to repay us in installments. Please come home. This house needs you. What good is an apology? I'll come back, but only under 3 rules. If you can't follow them, meet me at the marriage registry tomorrow. Name them Yao Yao. If you'll come home, I'll agree to 30 rules, not just 3. First, anyone who wants to stay here must have my permission in advance. Even your father. Agreed. From now on, you decide who enters this house. Second, you're responsible for recovering Zhang Li's debt. From now on, every major expense must be fully disclosed. If you ever take a credit card cash advance for your brother-in-law again, it'll never happen again. I canceled my credit cards. You can keep my salary card. And I'll report every dollar I spend. Third, I'm not your family's free maid. We split the housework. I'm not obligated to serve anyone. I'll do it. I'll cook breakfast and mop the floor. After hanging up, I made him wait 3 more days. I watched him wake early to practice frying eggs and making congee. After work, he mopped instead of collapsing on the couch. He even bought fresh lilies for the table. He finally understood that a clean, warm home requires care. 3 days later, I returned with the same suitcase. The house smelled faintly of lilies without a trace of smoke. Yao Yao, you're home. I handed him my suitcase and inspected the living room. It was acceptable. He eagerly carried my bag into the bedroom, where I noticed a note and the perfume Zhang Li had sprayed. Zhang Hao handed me the neatly written note. Before I could take it, his phone rang. Zhang Li's name flashed on the screen. The phone vibrated like a hot potato, and Zhang Hao's expression changed. He looked at me helplessly. Speakerphone. He swallowed, answered, and turned it on. Zhang Hao, why did you take so long to answer? Dad and I just reached home. That awful train ride destroyed my back. No one's lived here for months. Everything is covered in dust. And there's no hot water. Sis, our relatives back home are perfectly capable. Ask them to help you clean. What kind of answer is that? I'm still recovering from childbirth. Transfer $2,000 to me right now. I'll hire someone to clean tomorrow and buy some good supplements. Sis, I made myself clear at the station yesterday. My credit cards are maxed out. I don't have a penny. You and brother-in-law still haven't repaid what you borrowed. Zhang Hao, have you lost your mind? I'm your biological sister. You won't even give me $2,000? Did that wicked Lin Yao come home? Is she beside you manipulating you? Shut up! Zhang Hao suddenly shouted. His roar silenced Zhang Li on the phone. Sis, if you ever insult Lin Yao again, you won't have a brother anymore. Transfer the first installment on that IOU immediately, or I'll follow legal procedure. Zhang Hao hung up without hesitation and turned to me. Yo, yo! Did I handle that correctly? I didn't answer. I picked up the bedside note that read, I'm sorry. I'll give you a home again. Folded it and placed it in my coat pocket. We'll see how you behave. Relieved that I'd kept the note, Zhang Hao exhaled. Then his phone lit up again with a final warning message from his supervisor. At 6:30 the next morning, clattering cookware woke me. In the kitchen, Zhang Hao wore a ridiculous floral apron and battled 2 burned eggs. He quickly turned off the stove and awkwardly served them. You're awake, Yao Yao. I still got the heat wrong. They're a little burned, but I warmed the milk. Please make do with this. I sat down, picked an unburned piece of egg and ate it. Compared with the hotel's luxury breakfast buffet, it was worlds apart. But I said nothing. It actually tastes okay. At those words, Zhang Hao's eyes lit up. He quickly pushed the warm milk toward me. But the dark circles under his eyes and his furrowed brow revealed his anxiety. I took a sip of milk and casually asked, Is something wrong? Shouho hesitated, then smiled bitterly. It's work. I've taken too much leave this month, and the project is a mess. My supervisor issued an ultimatum. If this morning's presentation fails, I may be fired. Hearing fired made my heart jolt. This month-long test had truly pushed his life to the edge. Are you confident about the proposal you worked on all night? I've done all I can. Now it's up to fate. I rechecked all the data, but lost client trust won't return overnight. Zhang Hao, workplaces don't care about excuses. Show some backbone at the office too. Don't make me regret coming home. Zhang Hao looked up sharply, gave me a complicated look, and nodded firmly. At 10, my phone vibrated with an internal disciplinary notice. Zhang Hao would lose his quarterly bonus, be barred from awards, and remain under review for 3 months. I exhaled. He was lucky to keep his job. Yao Yao, I survived. I lost my bonus, but at least I kept my job. Tonight, I'll buy fresh ribs at the market and make soup for you. I replied, okay. Life was finally returning to normal. At 3, a bank alert said $2,000 had entered my account. Then Zhang Li sent her first message in days. Lin Yao, I sent this month's first installment. Check your account. Stop treating the Jiang family like thieves. I found the hostile message amusing. The sister-in-law who had ruled my home and demanded imported kiwis had finally been forced to bow her head. Ignoring her provocation, I sent the payment screenshot to Zheng Hao. He replied instantly. Good, you received it. Wang Qiang called again this morning. He wanted another loan. I blocked him immediately. He had truly taken our 3 rules to heart. When I came home from work, the rich smell of rib soup filled the house. Zhang Hao carried it from the kitchen, tired but far more energetic. Wash your hands, dinner's ready. Halfway through dinner, the doorbell rang. Zhang Hao opened it, revealing my best friend Su Yue, holding 2 bottles of wine and grinning with gossip. Lin Yao, I heard you won your war to defend the homeland. I had to come congratulate you. Zhang Hao looked embarrassed. Su Yue swaggered inside and placed the wine on the table. Chef Zhang, this rib soup smells great. Whenever I visited before, Yao Yao was always the one working in the kitchen. Did the sun rise in the west today? Zhang Hao coughed and rubbed his nose awkwardly. Su Yue, stop teasing me. I was immature before. From now on, I'll handle the housework. Words aren't enough, prove it. Su Yue fetched a glass, poured herself some wine, and raised it. Yao Yao, here's to your victorious return. I clinked my water against her glass. Don't drink too much. You still have to take a cab home. Yao Yao, that scorched earth move of yours was incredible. I heard that when your father-in-law and sister-in-law went home, they threw a fit at the train station. People like them only bully the weak. If you don't teach them a lesson, they'll think you're an easy target. Standing nearby, Zhang Hao flushed with embarrassment. Su Yue's words had hit his sore spot. Are you really going to forgive him that easily? You stayed away for 3 full months. Has he suffered enough? I wouldn't call it forgiveness. He's on probation. A home belongs to 2 people. It isn't my battlefield alone. He agreed to the rules and has started changing. I'll treat this as meeting him again for the first time. If he repeats his mistakes, I can walk away with a clear head. That's how a woman should be, strong enough to hold on or let go. Just then, Zhang Hao's phone rang. The water stopped in the kitchen and he walked out, drying his hands. Seeing the caller, he stiffened, looked at me, and answered on speaker. Xiao Hao, your second uncle is coming to the city for medical treatment tomorrow. Hotels are too expensive, so let him stay with you for a few days. I remained seated, staring expressionlessly at Zhang Hao. This was my first rule. Any house guest needed my approval. Dad, which hospital? Is second uncle visiting? That major hospital in your city. His high-speed train arrives tomorrow afternoon. Pick him up and prepare a room for him. He's family. Your second uncle held you when you were little. Don't let us down. Dad, if he's coming for treatment, I'll take half a day off and meet him at the station. I'll buy him lunch, then personally take him to the hospital. At least you still have some decency. What about lodging? I'll arrange it. I'll book him a budget hotel beside the hospital. It'll be close by and convenient for follow-up visits. He won't stay here. Why waste money on a hotel? That costs hundreds every day. Do you have money to burn? Is that huge spare bedroom growing mushrooms? Dad. Zhang Hao refused to back down. Lin Yao has been busy at work. She needs quiet at night. House guests would be inconvenient. I'll pay for second uncle's hotel as my contribution as his nephew, but we aren't hosting anyone at home. You're completely controlled by your wife. You won't even let your own uncle inside. Are you still a Jiang? My name is Zhang, but this is also Lin Yao's home. That's the arrangement, Dad. I'll meet second uncle tomorrow. I have other things to do. Goodbye. He hung up decisively. After several silent seconds, Su Yue laughed and raised her glass toward him. Not bad, Zhang Hao. You finally grew a spine. This toast is for you. Zhang Hao scratched his head awkwardly. I said nothing, but the slight curve of my lips made his tense shoulders relax. Then my phone rang. I pulled it from my bag and frowned at an email from Human Resources. Yo Yao, you're getting promoted. Promoted to what? Yao Yao, are you transferring positions? During those 3 months in a hotel apartment, I didn't merely watch the cameras. To justify leaving, I'd applied for an unpopular market research project requiring long-term fieldwork. I spent each day gathering data and each night writing reports. I turned a disaster into a success, and the CEO was so impressed that he approved my promotion. I was becoming Deputy Director of Marketing, with a 30% raise. The price was 6 extremely busy months ahead, with frequent overtime and travel. That's wonderful. A promotion, a raise, you're reaching the top. Zhang Hao, take good care of the home now. Don't hold Yao Yao back. Something complicated flashed in his eyes. While his career had hit rock bottom and he was under review because of the family crisis, mine was soaring. Any man would feel conflicted. This is good news. Yao Yao, focus on your career. I'll handle all the housework and never make you worry. I looked steadily at him. Deputy director won't be easy. I may work weekends and I won't have time for bills, household matters, or social obligations. I'll handle them. I remember every rule we made. Starting today, I won't play peacemaker or avoid responsibility. I'll protect this home. I nodded without another word. Promises are easy, actions matter. The next afternoon, Zhang Hao took time off to meet second uncle at the train station. While I reviewed project files in my new private office, the community guard Old Chen called. Shaolin, your father-in-law is causing trouble at the gate again. He's trying to force his way inside. We can barely stop him. I'm the homeowner's father. Why do I need a key card to enter my son's home? What kind of guard are you, sir? Mr. Zhang specifically told us not to allow visitors for the next few days. You don't have an access card, so I truly can't let you inside. Please call him. Why should I call? My son went to pick up his second uncle. I secretly followed him. In his anger, Zhang Jianguo had revealed the truth. A controlling man like him could never swallow the humiliation of being sent back home by his son. He'd created a diversion to sneak back while Zhang Hao was gone, check whether I'd returned, and intimidate me again. Yao Yao, what's wrong? I picked up second uncle and was heading to the hotel. Did you only pick up your uncle? Yes, he's alone. Then turn around and come back to our community. Your father is forcing his way through the gate. Old Chen can barely hold him back. What? Half an hour later, Zhang Hao's car screeched to a stop at the gate. Xiao Hao, your security guard is bullying me. Take me inside now. Is your wife at home? I want to see how arrogant she is now. Dad, what are you doing? Doing what? I'm visiting my son and bringing you some local specialties. Can a father enter his own son's home? I made myself clear yesterday. We can't host guests at home. I've settled second uncle in a budget hotel beside the hospital. I'll take you there now. I'll pay for your room. What hotel? I'm staying at your home. Are you afraid of that vicious woman? Zhang Hao, I'm entering that door today. Let's see what Lin Yao can do to me. Stop embarrassing yourself. This is my home with Lin Yao. You can't enter whenever you please. Fine, you ungrateful bastard. You abandoned your father for a woman. Do you have no respect for your elders? Respect for elders isn't an excuse to control me. When you ruled my home and turned it into a dump, did you ever respect us? Dad, I'm saying this one final time. Without Lin Yao's permission, you cannot enter this house. Watching from my office, I exhaled. Zhang Hao had finally established a firm boundary. Unable to force his way in, Zhang Jianguo trembled with rage and kicked over one of the bags. Zhang Hao, remember this. Even if you beg me, I'll never visit again. Zhang Hao didn't stop him. He quietly gathered the scattered gifts. Then his phone rang, and his expression changed when he saw the caller. Brother-in-law, what do you need? Xiao Hao, about the $10,000 I borrowed last month. And your sister's installment. We may need an extension this month. Brother-in-law, didn't you post last week that business was improving and you'd break even soon? My sister signed that IOU in black and white. The second installment is due this month. You know how business is. Plans change. Our inventory is trapped in the warehouse, and our cash flow has collapsed. Your sister also has a baby. Formula and diapers for a 1-month-old. Cost money everywhere. We're family. You can't let your nephew starve. Give us a few months. A few months? Brother-in-law, you forced me to max out my cards last month. You used my money for imported bird's nest and designer headphones. Did you think about me then? I have bills too. What kind of attitude is that? You earn over $20,000 a month. Will a few thousand really matter? Zhang Hao, don't let that woman Lin Yao brainwash you. Money is replaceable, family isn't. I stared at the properly formatted court payment application on my screen, filled with mixed emotions. Are you certain? Once you file this, you'll completely destroy your relationship with Zhang Li and Wang Qiang. Your father won't forgive you either. Yao Yao 3 months ago, when they made me cry in front of an empty refrigerator, that relationship was already destroyed. I protected them, but they drained me dry. If family is merely a tool for extracting money to them, I won't be their fool anymore. The 15th arrived. No repayment notification came, but Zhang Li posted a restaurant feast with the caption, "Nothing beats food back home," deliberately displaying Wang Qiang's new watch. Zhang Hao's face hardened. Without speaking, he sent the application, IOU photos, and transfer records to an old law school friend. File the court payment order through the proper process. Tell me the fee, and I'll transfer it. After sending the message, he tossed down his phone, exhaled, and looked at me. It was finally over. But we'd underestimated their shamelessness. The afternoon before the court issued its order, a terrified receptionist called. "Director Lin, please come out." I left the meeting room and heard deafening wails from the lobby. "Everyone, come look!" This woman named Lin Yao got promoted and seized the Zhang family's property. Now she's forcing relatives to repay loan shark debt. She's heartless, completely heartless. I took a deep breath, walked toward Zhang Li, and looked down at her coldly. "Lin Yao, you vicious woman! You finally dared to come out. Make Zhang Hao withdraw that lawsuit immediately, or I'll keep causing trouble at your company. I'll show your bosses and co-workers your true face. Lin Yao, don't push your luck. We're relatives. How can you be so ruthless? Aren't you afraid of karma? Call Zhang Hao right now. Tear up the IOU in front of us, and this will be over. Otherwise, I'll post this video online and destroy your reputation." I didn't avoid the camera. I stepped closer and sneered. Keep recording. A live stream would be even better. I glanced at my coworkers and spoke calmly. Since you have no shame, everyone should hear the truth. Changli, you borrowed $60,000 from my husband 3 years ago. It's written in black and white. Last month, your husband Wang Qiang took another $10,000 for his so-called business. You lived and ate in my home for free and maxed out our card-buying premium bird's nest. Altogether, you owe us $80,000. You signed the IOU yourself. Repaying debt is basic justice. How did that become stealing family property? Exposed, Zhang Li's expression changed, but she kept making a scene. That's my brother's money. What does it have to do with you? Why are you controlling the Zhang family's finances? Because it's marital property belonging to Zhang Hao and me. I fired back without mercy. Wang Qiang, didn't you say your business would break even soon? Yet you're refusing to repay $80,000. Is your business actually fraud? You bitch! What nonsense are you saying? I quickly stepped back and turned to the receptionist. Why aren't security here yet? Call the police. Tell them someone is causing a disturbance and attempting extortion. Fine, you're ruthless. Just wait. They reached the elevator just as its doors opened. 2 uniformed officers stepped out and blocked them. Who called the police? Officer? It was those 2. Were you causing trouble here? It's all a misunderstanding, officer. We're relatives. It's just a family financial dispute. We only came to talk to her, officer. I'm Lin Yao, Deputy Director of Marketing here. These 2 owe us $80,000 and we've applied for a court payment order. Today they came to my company's lobby and caused a scene, shouting abuse, and seriously disrupting our operations. I want them taken to the station. Financial disputes belong in court. Why cause trouble at someone's workplace? Come on, you're returning to the station with us to give statements. Honey, I don't want to go to the police station. I have the baby. Enough. Bring the baby with you. Debts must be repaid. You refuse to pay and still think you're right? You came to someone else's workplace to cause trouble. That may constitute disruption of business operations. If she presses charges, you could be detained. Yao Yao, are you okay? I'm fine. But your sister and brother-in-law put on quite a show in front of my coworkers. Zhang Hao, this was a misunderstanding. Lin Yao deliberately escalated it. Do you want your own sister jailed? Sis, didn't I tell you to stop provoking Lin Yao? You went to her office to destroy her career? Her salary pays our mortgage and protects our future. If you won't let us live in peace, none of us will. Shouho took a deep breath and faced the mediator. We won't settle. If they caused any loss to the company, they will pay every cent. Shouhao, your brother-in-law was completely wrong. Please withdraw the case. Court officers posted a notice on my warehouse this morning. My partner wants to abandon me. Xiaohao! Sis, your brother-in-law is begging you. When my partner saw the court notice, he assumed I was bankrupt and insisted on pulling his investment. If you don't withdraw the case, my business is finished. Your sister and her baby will starve. Zhang Hao, you can't abandon us. Lin Yao is a cruel woman, but you're my biological brother. Can you watch our family of 3 become homeless? Let go. I said let go! You destroyed your own business. That $80,000 was my hard-earned money, taken dollar by dollar. When you used it for imported bird's nest and designer headphones, did you think about how I worked all night to repay those credit cards? You went to Lin Yao's office and tried to guilt us into surrendering. Fine. Since you have no shame, we'll meet in court. You'll repay exactly what the judge orders. Yo, I didn't let you down today, did I? You did well. Come on, I'll make soup for you at home. Zhang Hao, Lin Yao, open the door. I'm not done with you today. Open up! You heartless bastards. You drove me into a corner. You won't live peacefully either. Yao, go to the bedroom. I'll handle this. Don't open the door. No need. Wang Qiang, knock one more time and see what happens. There are cameras in the hallway, and I'm recording everything. Your behavior isn't merely disturbing the neighbors. It's harassment and disorderly conduct. If you aren't gone by the count of 3, I'll call the police and have you taken to jail to sober up. Fine, Lin Yao, you're ruthless. You forced me, just wait. Yao, Wang Xiao is a thug. If we corner him, he might do something extreme. A cornered dog will bite. The payment order is already effective. His accounts are restricted. Now we wait for court enforcement. He's a toothless tiger. Apart from drunken tantrums, he can do nothing. If we don't show fear, he can't hurt us. One quiet week passed. Wang Qiang's partner withdrew, but life seemed to improve. Zhang Hao kept the home immaculate, and warm meals waited every night. The former dump became a cozy refuge. Then my phone vibrated during a meeting. I apologized, stepped outside, and answered. Yao, something happened. The hospital back home called. Dad collapsed from a brain hemorrhage and is in emergency surgery. Xiaohao, what are we going to do about Dad? The doctor says the surgery will cost a fortune. Why did Dad suddenly collapse? His blood pressure was high these last 2 days, and he didn't take his medicine. The patient suffered a brain hemorrhage. He survived because he arrived in time, but he must enter intensive care immediately. Which family member will pay the $50,000 deposit? Xiaohao, you know your brother-in-law's situation. The court froze even my bank cards. You'll have to pay. Zhanghao, I can pay the deposit, but Dad has a pension and health insurance. Changli, isn't Dad's salary card always in his bedroom drawer? Use his money first. Sis, where is Dad's salary card? You were stammering earlier. What actually caused his collapse? The money on that card went to cover Wang Qiang's losses. Dad discovered it was gone, argued with me, and had the hemorrhage. You stole Dad's retirement money. It wasn't stealing. I borrowed it. Once my business improves, I'll replace it immediately. Who knew the old man would be so temperamental and get angry so easily? Zhanghao, are you crazy? You hit your brother-in-law? Yes, that money was Dad's lifetime savings. It was his last security.
You bastards!
Destroying my home wasn't enough. Now you've nearly killed your own father. What's going on? This is an emergency ward. Fight outside. A man's life is at stake. I'll pay the $50,000, but it's a loan to save your father. Lin Yao, sister-in-law, I'm begging you, don't call the police. If Wang Qiang is arrested, what will happen to my 1-month-old baby? Doctor, how is my father? We saved his life. The bleeding inside his skull is under control. But emotional stress caused extensive bleeding that compressed his nerves. He will most likely be partially paralyzed, with one side of his body disabled. Paralyzed? How much will that cost? Who will take care of him? Half an hour later, Zhang Jiangguo entered intensive care. The domineering old man who once ruled my home lay lifeless with tubes throughout his body. His eyes moved, but his mouth sagged, and only hoarse groans escaped his throat. All right, we've seen him. Xiaohao, you stay here. My baby still needs to be fed, so I have to go home. Stop. Dad is paralyzed. We'll split his future medical and caregiver expenses. 50-50. 50-50 in your dreams. A married daughter belongs to another family. You'll inherit all the Zhang family property. Why should I pay? Besides, I can barely feed myself. Where would I get money? You stole every cent of Dad's pension. You cannot escape that debt. If you refuse to pay, I'll take the bank records to the police tomorrow. Let's see how a court handles theft of a relative's major assets. Fine, it's only medical bills. I'll raise the money and bring it tomorrow. They ran away and will move overnight. Yao, you were right. The house is ransacked. Their luggage, Dad's property deed, and his savings book are all gone. They were trying to steal Zhang Jiangguo's last assets. What will you do? Call the police. They stole his pension and property deed, and abandoned a critically ill elderly man. I'm going to the station now. Police found the deed in Zhang Li's bag at the train station checkpoint. They planned to take an overnight train out of the province, join Wang Qiang's relatives, and sell Zhang Jiangguo's house cheaply online. Officers caught them before they boarded. Officer, he transferred the money and planned everything. I knew nothing. You gave me the old man's password and you stole the deed. Outside the mediation room, Zhang Hao listened to them blame each other without emotion. The family bond he desperately protected shattered that cold morning. Mr. Zhang, this involves theft of a relative's property. If the family provides a letter of forgiveness, the punishment may be reduced or charges might not be filed. We have arrested them. What is your decision? I will never forgive them. Understood, boss, no problem. Consider it done. 3 months earlier, I fled that toxic home with my suitcase, suffocating in despair. 3 months later, I'd removed the poison from my marriage, taught my husband responsibility, and transformed my career. When I opened our city apartment, fresh air greeted me. No takeout boxes, crying baby, or Zhang Jiangguo shouting. The floors gleamed. Fresh baby's breath flowers decorated the coffee table. Zhang Hao set down my luggage and turned toward me. He had grown thinner, but his face now held a mature man's strength and steadiness. Yao, you've suffered for 3 years because of me. I know endless apologies mean nothing, but please give me a chance to prove. I can protect this family. Inside the jewelry box was a necklace I'd admired in a store window but never bought. I'm going overseas for a 6-month research assignment. I leave next week. Zhang Hao, you'll be alone here for 6 months. You'll have to repay the debts from these past few months and manage any emergencies involving your father. It will be difficult, and I won't be able to help. Zhang Hao paused, then stood and firmly placed the necklace around my neck. Go build your career. I'll handle the home. Deputy Director Lin, you conquer the world, and I'll guard headquarters. This time I won't break my promise. Over those 6 months, he became tanner and thinner, but also sharper and more capable than ever. Deputy Director Lin, welcome home in triumph. How did headquarters hold up these 6 months? It's an impenetrable fortress. Come home and inspect your territory. When I opened the door, I was genuinely surprised. This wasn't the fake cleanliness of a rushed cleanup. The balcony plants thrived, the wooden floor was spotless, and every kitchen corner gleamed. The sour, milky stench was gone, replaced by a delicate diffuser fragrance. Yao, the house isn't the only thing that improved. Last month I won the company's quarterly excellence award. I applied the principles from our 3 rules at work, learned to refuse unreasonable blame, and became more productive. Looking at him, I finally felt true satisfaction. This was what marriage should be. 2 people helping each other grow, not one draining the other. We sat at the table. Zhang Hao had just served the welcome home soup he'd simmered all afternoon when his phone rang. The caller was Dad's rehabilitation center. Mr. Zhang, your father is refusing food again. He says the rehabilitation center is a prison and calls you an ungrateful son. He demands that you come see him. He's making a scene about moving back to the city and insists on seeing you and your wife. Can you visit when you have time? Zhang Hao fell silent. His smile vanished, replaced by hard calm. He looked at me, newly returned from abroad. If he refuses food, wait until he's hungry and offer it again. I'll visit tomorrow morning. But my wife just returned from overseas. She won't come. The next morning, I accompanied Zhang Hao, not out of filial duty, but to see this farce end. In the private room, Zhang Jiangguo lay half-paralyzed, gray-haired and hollow-eyed. Seeing me, he struck the bed with his one working hand and groaned furiously. I came to see you. The old man has been extremely irritable. He insists on returning to your city apartment and says this place has no warmth. Zhang Hao nodded and dismissed the caregiver. When the door closed, he faced his father. Dad, this is the last time I'll explain this. I pay the rehabilitation fees on time every month. The medical care is better here, and the caregivers are professionals, moving back to the city. It's impossible, you vicious woman ruined me. You still think I did this to you? Your wonderful daughter and son-in-law stole your entire pension and enraged you into a brain hemorrhage. Every cent of these 6 months of rehabilitation came from Zhang Hao working late. Insult me one more time, and I'll make Zhang Hao cancel your private caregiver. My icy stare terrified Zhang Jiangguo. His lips trembled, but he made no sound. He finally understood that he'd destroyed his own authority. Now he was merely a paralyzed old man dependent on his son. This is the last time I'll tolerate your tantrums. If you refuse food or insult Lin Yao again, I'll pay only for the cheapest bed and cancel your private caregiver. Choose for yourself. The anger in Zhang Jiangguo's eyes died, replaced by fear and despair. He lowered his hand, suddenly looking 10 years older. Zhang Hao took my hand and turned away. But when we opened the door, a disheveled woman holding a frail baby rushed from around the corner and dropped to her knees before Zhang Hao. Xiao Hao! Save me! It was Zhang Li, missing for more than 6 months. Her former arrogance was gone. Her hair resembled a bird's nest. Her hungry baby wailed, and she clung to Zhang Hao's leg like her last lifeline. Xiao Hao. Wang Qiang was sentenced to 3 years for fraud last month. Debt collectors destroyed our house back home. I have nowhere to go. Let me move into the rehabilitation center and care for Dad. Just pay me a caregiver's salary each month. Please. What a clever scheme. She wanted free housing and food while extracting living expenses from Zhang Hao. He looked down coldly at the sister he'd once favored most, the one who'd hurt him deepest. He kicked free and pulled his leg from Zhang Li's hands. Sis, when you stole Dad's life-saving money, did you imagine this day? The court's enforcement isn't over, and you still owe Lin Yao and me. Why would I ever trust you again? Xiao Hao, I'm your biological sister. The baby is innocent. Zhang Hao closed his eyes and inhaled. When he opened them, all weakness was gone. This $500 is for 2 cans of formula. It isn't for you. From now on, whether you live or die, has nothing to do with our family. If you harass Lin Yao or me again, or cause trouble in Dad's room, I'll call the police immediately. Without another glance at Zhang Li, Zhang Hao took my hand and strode outside. In the dazzling sunlight, he exhaled beside the car, then blocked and deleted every way Zhang Li could contact him. Yao Yao, it's over. That bottomless pit. I've finally filled it in. Before I could answer, my phone vibrated wildly. Lin Yao, the overseas acquisition your team secured. Headquarters approved it. Return to the office immediately. The board wants to meet you. Congratulations, Director Lin. This is the company's biggest deal this year. Your official appointment will be issued next week. Today must be a lucky day. 2 wonderful victories at once. That's amazing, Yao Yao. You did it! You're incredible! You've worked so hard these 6 months. Here's to your growth and your decisiveness. I have good news too. I haven't had a chance to tell you. I applied our family's rules about boundaries and refusing blame to managing my team. The coworkers who always shifted responsibility learned not to cross me. The project advanced rapidly, and my supervisor promoted me to project manager last week. Zhang Hao, do you know why I had to leave our home so drastically? Without that shock, they would have dragged me into the abyss, and I would have pulled you down with me. Yao Yao, open this. It's the final accounting I owe you. This is the $80,000 Zhang Li and Wang Qiang owed us. After Wang Qiang's arrest, the court sold his old van and froze his accounts. I covered the remaining balance from my salary. This card holds all my post-promotion wages and bonuses. My cards used to be empty shells they drained. Now this is security I earned myself. The pin is our anniversary. You should manage our home again. I opened the balcony window, and the evening breeze carried the city's warmth across my face. Our long battle began when I fled the home they'd turned into a dump. It continued through every calculated step until Zhang Hao escaped despair and severed his toxic family's grip. We took many detours and paid a painful price, but I'm grateful I never chose endless submission. Marriage isn't charity or one-sided sacrifice. Real love must be built on clear boundaries and mutual respect. Tomorrow is Saturday. Let's shop for new furniture. I want to throw away that stained old couch and replace it with the leather one you've always wanted. Good, we'll replace it. We'll replace everything. This is finally our real home. Clean, honest, and belonging only to us.